Yes, we're here again. Court in session with me and my esteemed co-host. That is Bajan Scout Alan Pinder. And the Avenger, only one with a new hairdo. That is Kelan Phillips. Right. So let me get right to it. Milwaukee, 6 game in the streak. I mean, we were making sport at Milwaukee for, like forever. But they know the 6 game in the streak. Are they contenders, or will we see them run out the gas at the end? I'll start with you, Alan.
Contenders not willing to go that far yet. Still want to see how they look with Middleton when he's back in full force. I'm still reluctant to say that right now. Doc Rivers is still their coach. As much stick as Doc gets, he's usually good with the team throughout the regular season. His teams are usually decent at that point in time. They'll normally
Yeah.
fall off the playoffs. So still don't think they're going to do that well when it comes to crunch time playoffs. There are going to be some problems there. But I think they should still do well this season. I think they could be a top 4 seed. But yeah, Giannis is on a crazy tear right now as it is. So yeah, I think they should do well this season. But contenders, yeah, I don't think they're out there with Cleveland and Boston right now. But yeah, if Middleton comes back, he's playing at the level he was when they were at the when they won the chip that year. They could be, but I doubt.
What you at, Kelan? Do you think will
The
the Bucks?
the power of NBA Santel, right? From the time they put out that tweet about Doc Rivers is serious about coaching, no, they are 6-1 or 7-1. The power of NBA Santel. I don't think they are contenders yet. I pretty much agree with everything that Alan said. Even though during this little 6 game win streak, Dame is averaging 26 and 9, and Giannis is averaging, this is not a typo, 34.4, 11 rebounds, 8 assists on 61% field goal. Like, he is on a tier. Like, he's putting on numbers, I guess, because Jokic is also doing his thing that we're not really talking about, his numbers, but yeah, he's on a tier. But I don't think they're gonna be content. I think second round ceiling is their, like, I feel like second round is their ceiling. I feel like second round is their ceiling. I don't know, like, I still think Cavs and Celtics are the cream of the crop in the East. And yeah, it would take Chris Middleton being back in that championship form in order for me to really think that they can knock out one of those two in the to get to the conference final. Yes, they still have them. Yes, Giannis is playing at an extremely high level, but there's always that trying to injuries in terms of Giannis. Like the last 2 playoffs, Giannis has been injured. Like he hasn't played, so we don't know about that. Chris Middleton has also been a bit in and out. Luckily, because the East has been kind of so meh in terms of record, they can catch up and get a top 4 seed. They're fifth right now, right? Yeah, behind the Knicks and the Magic. But I don't know. I still see Celtics and Cavs at the upper echelon of the East right now.
I don't disagree anything. I know you were trying to be political correct. So you were trying to say that they still got Doc Rivers, so
yeah, 100%.
that I really don't mean. So we are. Do you have Bucks ceiling as the second round? That is interesting.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, that's a really interesting point. But I must admit to you that I'm starting to believe with the Cleveland Cavaliers. I still think Boston Celtics is the best team in the East.
Yeah.
But I think Cavaliers are really pushing it. The surprise of the East for me now is Orlando Magic, because I thought that when Banchero went out that was the end of them, but apparently it wasn't.
Boy.
So but they're 8th and
Franz Wagner show.
9-1 in the last thing. Right?
Yeah, 15-7 overall.
Actually, I think they got one of the better winning streaks. Because I think, Orlando Magic, them and Bucks winning 6 straight. Yeah. I think in the West is another 6 straight guy. But we'll talk about the West later.
Franz is that guy, apparently.
Pardon,
yeah. It's the Franz Wagner show.
But I want to ask one thing, and is going out west. Chris Paul. It is said that every team that Chris Paul goes to, the team actually does well um, with him in it. I didn't look at the winning percentage with Warriors, but I wouldn't really say he was with Warriors. I think Warriors just hold him because
Yeah.
but I've noticed that the Spurs,
Oh yes.
yeah, the Spurs are now 10th with the actual winning record 11-9. I can't remember the last time Spurs had a winning record. I mean, like, you know,
Me either.
20 games or winning record, which is interesting.
Me either. I know he's watching them, so that would tell you.
Right. So, are we seeing? Do you think that Spurs will make the playoffs?
I'll go first since the resident Spurs fan. Not sure about playoffs. I think they can fight for that playing spot, and then with a one game, a 1 or 2 game, you never know. But the improvement and the growth from last year, you can see it already. That point about Chris Paul to all the teams that he goes to. I actually have some stats and records here. When he went to the Clippers, the year before, they were 32 and 50. Then the year that he went, they were 40 and 26. Might not seem like a big improvement, but if you check those totals, that was the lockout year where they only played 66 games. So they won 40, which is a very that's an above 50 win projection, right? Then he went to Houston. Houston was already a good team, yeah, but they went from 55 wins to 65 wins, right? Which might be their franchise record or whatever. OKC, not a big jump in terms of their wins, but that was the year that Westbrook got traded, right? So everybody thought that when Westbrook traded that, OKC would be down, but they still won 44 games and made the playoffs. And then we all know about the Suns. They won 64 games and went to the finals, right? As a Spurs fan, I don't think y'all understand watching what I went through, right? We are 11 and 9, right? That means that we've won our 11th game out of 20. We won our 11th game last year after 54 games. We were 11 and 43. That's when we won our 11th game. We won our
after All-Star break.
Yes, after All-Star break. At one point in last year, we were 5 and 30. 5 and 30, right? So, like, obviously, as a Spurs fan, like, the growth and the leadership from Chris Paul is there, right? And the intangibles, which is something that people have always talked about with him in terms of his leadership and whatever. He can get Wemby easier baskets or whatever, but just the leadership and the growth, like, I think Spurs are like 6 and 3 in clutch time. That's something last year that would have never, if it was clutch time, we were losing games. We was losing games, it was game blown out or not. We were just losing games. But no, like, even in clutch time, like, showing leadership in terms of getting good shots and stuff like that. And I think a lot of that is on Chris Paul. I know he got a stigma because, well, I guess, he hasn't won a title, or they say like he chokes in any playoffs, which is actually kind of overblown, but that's a story for another time. But yeah, he's done a very good job in terms of the growth and helping with the leadership at the Spurs.
What about you, Alan? What do you think?
Yeah, once you get veterans on a young team like that, it definitely makes a big difference. If you can even see it with the Pistons right now,
Correct.
Pistons have improved quite a bit.
Yeah.
I think they've qualified, or in the process of qualifying for the later stages of the NBA Cup as well.
They play, yeah.
Yeah. So definitely having his veteran leadership has definitely helped. But I think we're burying the lead a little bit. That young guy Wemby has been averaging like 30 points and 10 boards, high efficient shooting very well from the 3-point lane, which he was not doing early on in the season.
Yeah.
That has been a major factor. The fact that his offensive game seems to be coming on and it seems to be getting more efficient right now. I mean, if he's turned into a 30-point per game scorer now,
Look out.
yeah, the prophecy may be coming through. We also have to look at Harrison Barnes. He was the player of the week, I think, a couple of weeks ago as well.
Yeah.
You know, another vet that not just veteran presence, but has actually been contributing a lot. So, yeah, I think Chris Paul's impact has definitely been there, especially his intangibles. But yeah, yeah, I think there's some really great factors and some good things happening in San Antonio. So I could definitely see why Kelan is definitely going to be very happy with what he's seeing right now.
Yeah, I'm not, but like, I'm not saying that like Chris Paul is the only thing. I agree with everything that you said. Harrison Barnes has been playing well. Even the rookie, Stephon Castle, like
Yeah,
he's been
Castle's
playing
great pickup.
exactly. So it's like it's a bunch of things. Obviously, we'll be averaging 30 and 11 and shooting 10 trees and hitting 47% is obviously great. But I was just saying like French time that you can see because obviously he has the ball in his hands a lot too, right? So
Yep.
even just getting Wemby in the right spots and getting players in certain spots, like that's something that I can definitely see. But it's definitely an overall effort in terms of Harrison Barnes and Wemby improvement and all that stuff. Yeah.
All right. Well, I can tend to agree. So it's been interesting. And also something about the West. I noticed that the West is now starting to let me say shake out. The early people that that seem to be great ain't look so great anymore. So uh, so we'll see how the West goes. But it's interesting. I'm glad for the Spurs. I think Popovich. I know there was a call for Popovich to step down because they just think that he's a little, he's too old now. And he doesn't have the energy, but he picked the team, and I think he's the general manager too, right? So he picked the team, and I think they will do well. And he always pick people that suit their how they do business.
Their culture
So
and stuff. Yeah.
right, so we'll see how that goes. There's something else I want to discuss. BJ Armstrong, you remember BJ Armstrong used to play for the Bulls and then he left and play for well, no, he left. He was traded to Charlotte. He's
Mhm.
a three-time NBA champion.
Mhm.
He had on a podcast said that everybody playing the same way, that everybody shooting trees and looking for layups, and and is that he would rather watch a pickup game than to watch the NBA. But there's actual data showing that there's a fall off in viewership of the NBA. Do you think the way that they're playing now with just this avalanche of trees is that causing some of the problem with the viewership? I will start with you, Alan.
I think the old heads here going a little too far. His quote about threes and twos. I mean, as you said, there's actual data to show that really what is it's not just twos are bad, because I think his quote he was saying that twos are bad and it's just threes and layups. It's the mid-range twos. So obviously they want players going for layups and threes, and that's the most efficient shots. They wanted to ease off the mid-range twos. But there's nuance on that. If you're a great mid-range shooter, they want those guys taking those twos. So Kevin Durant, you still want taking those mid-range twos, and he still is. Guys like Kawhi Leonard, you want those guys taking those mid-range two-point shots. To Draymond Greens, you don't want those guys taking the mid-range twos or the fadeaways. You want those guys focused on open three-point shots and lay outside the rim. And I don't think it's just as easy to say it's just three-point shots. Yes, there are some clips. I've seen some clips online of teams going back and forth that's shooting threes. And I think that is bad basketball. And I mean, you can see it's bad basketball because the guys aren't scoring. The three-point shots are good, efficient three-point shots are normally ones that are created from penetration. The ball touches the paint and then sprays out to the perimeter. So those are really high quality threes that the analytics is really pointing to, not just guys coming down and jacking the three-point shots. And because the floor is more spread now, you're getting a lot more guys driving to the rim as well. And you're getting the layups and spectacular layups and spectacular dunks. So I don't think the product is as bad as BJ is saying. but there is a drop in viewership. I would say that is the NBA's TV model is a bit complicated with issues with their local partners and blackouts, and if people want to see games and don't know where to find games, which gives rise to the pirating streams, and the NBA has to combat the pirating streams. So I think it's a lot deeper than us saying guys are just jacking up too much threes. Is the issue. But the analyst is pointing to it's a more efficient scoring game, and it's hard to say that the threes are ruining the game. Yet Steph Curry was celebrated as transforming the game, and what's the big thing about Steph Curry? Not that he dunks the ball all the time,
Yeah,
or
but
or he's just big post up player. He's an excellent 3-point shooter, and the 3-point shooting is what marvels people. Even look at Kelan Curry, WNBA. Her 3-point shooting is what really marvels people along for passing. So, yeah, I'm not quite on lane with DJ here with that.
but I would just caution you there because I agree with what you're saying. I can see where it is logical. But remember, you just only call two names, Kelan Clark in the WNBA and Steph Curry in the NBA. They're only one each in each league. So everybody can be jacking at trees. So that may be something to do with it, but you do have a point about the complicated model of getting NBA games, because I think I heard Gilbert Arenas talking about it on his podcast. But yeah, Kelan, what about you? What do you think about this thought that the trees and the layup thing? He said what B. Johnson was saying is that it hinders creativity.
Yeah, I'm glad Alan made that point um on the complicated TV model, because I agree that it's not one singular thing that is causing a lot of viewership, in my opinion. There's a bunch of things that are culminating in one. I see some people talk about the refereeing. Maybe the refereeing is not, the greatest. Some people don't like that players can't celebrate. They get taxed for looking at people. Like, all that stuff kind of makes viewers be like, do I really want to watch this? But it's not a major, but if a little bit of viewers don't like that, that's one thing. And then when you play along with something else and then something else and something else, it adds up, right? The complicated TV model, as you said. I didn't know this at first because obviously down here, once you have League Pass, then it's easy for you to watch all the games. But like over there, apparently, if you have League Pass, you still can't watch TV local games. Like it's just a complicated thing that you have to have one thing, and you have to have somebody else to watch games, but then you can't watch certain games on this, so then you have to watch. So it's like 5 different things that you have to subscribe to just to watch games. I don't think the average casual fan is really doing it. I don't even think the hardcore fans doing that. And that's what leading to more pirating and illegal streams, because it's like even billionaires, like these are millionaires, and they are watching stuff on illegal streams. Could you go pay like 5 different subscriptions just to watch basketball? I mean, that's a bit much, right? From a business standpoint, I guess, but like that's a bit much. In terms of the threes, I agree with the most part that is when you have bad 3-point shooters, when you have people just jacking up threes that really and truly should not be jacking up threes. I think that is when it starts to get a bit out of hand, right? Like you say with whole, as Alan said, you want Draymond Green to be shooting fadeaway mid ranges and stuff like that. You rather the KDs and the DeRozans and the Kawhi shoot those shots. They got some people who just jacking up 3-point shots. I'd be like, you shouldn't be shooting threes either. Like, you should get any paint, do something, set screens, like pass the ball to somebody else. Just don't shoot.
Stay on the bench.
something like you should not be shooting this much threes, right? So I get the lack of creativity is pretty interesting. That's actually one point that maybe I can agree with. I think that a lot of teams play too similar, and a lot of teams aren't the Boston Celtics. Like that's the thing. Like I know people may be harping on the Boston Celtics, but the Boston Celtics have great 3-point shooters. Like Drew Holiday, Derek White, Porzingis, Al Horford, hit threes. Jalen Brown, those are good 3-point shooters. Payton Pritchard, Luke Cornett, those are pretty good. Not Luke Cornett. Sam Hauser. Those are guys that can actually shoot trees, right? So like I don't mind they playing in terms of the driven kit. Plus they have people that can attack the baskets, stuff like that. My problem is that everybody doesn't have to play that same way. Like just because you see Boston shooting a lot of trees doesn't mean that you have to shoot a lot of trees. I do say everybody in Steph Curry, right? Like I is shooting 11 trees a game. I don't know if y'all know that. I is shooting 2 more trees a game than Steph. Steph don't even shoot 11 trees right now. Right? Like I get to that point is where I think, okay, the creativity of teams is kind of going away. Like even in the 90s, like you had our 80s, you had like how the Bulls play. Then you had Showtime, fast break. Then you had maybe a team that would shoot trees. Like there was more variance back in the day. And I don't want to sound like an old head, but that whole everybody just shooting threes is one aspect. Like you want to watch different things. Like you're watching one team, like, all right, cool. I gained this from one team. I gained this from another team. When you're getting everything looks the same, it's like, so I guess
but
that
it's
is
analytics. The analytics say, and
yeah.
and the NBA is good. Analytics, they got about 300 or 400 cameras in any arena, so they could analyze down to, I mean, like, to who should be wearing white socks and black socks. So so I mean that is something that you can't really refute that the trees are not a little bit better. I mean, a higher percentage shot. However, the trees have been a higher percentage shot. They have the right people to shoot the trees. I think that's the point that he missed a little.
Yeah.
The interesting thing about that is that you talk about Ant, but he's enjoying his highest scoring season, I think, in the NBA.
Yeah, no,
because he's shooting more threes.
Yeah, trees is more too. But yeah,
the people
even if you're shooting at 25%.
I don't think we'll have to check. I don't think his percentage is that.
No, I'm not saying his percentage that low, but I'm saying
but
even if
I think he's actually shooting at 47%. I think he's actually shooting at a very good clip. My only thing I know would be, I think he's taking like 6 or 7 more trees than he did last year. But because when you shoot more threes, obviously you're taking away from something else. I think he's shooting less free throws than last year, right? So it's obviously a give and take in terms of if you shoot more, then you're doing something less, or like you're just shooting a ton more shots as well. So,
and you're going to have that same problem in San Antonio as well, because you're a big fella. They think a lot of people that don't think he's shooting so many threes, but he's shooting them a lot right now. He's hitting them. He shot a lot in his 50-point game. So it's going to be very interesting going forward to see how he rebuilds his game.
At least I consistent with my team, because at one point I was like, I think when we shot like 12 trees in the first half, and it was like, I felt like that old man get off my lawn kind of thing. I was like, let's shoot like a little less, just get it paid a little bit more. But he was hitting, so therefore I was like, okay, I guess he's hitting. But like, Wemby is also a second-year player, so I guess he's experimenting. Like they're experimenting with his shooting. So for young stars, I kind of get he's one of a kind. But just like your average person just shooting like 10 trees a game, please don't do that.
All right.
Come on.
Well, that is the viewership and the 3-point shooting. Alan, do you have anything for us for fantasy?
Yeah, quick note on the fantasy side. Not a lot of movement this week, but I would say Malcolm Brogdon, he came back. He's been averaging about 20.6 6 boards, 5 assists.
I didn't remember he was in league.
Yeah, well, he's always injured, and he's playing for the Washington Lizards, So Wizards. So they didn't win any games last month, So that's quite an accomplishment for November for them. So you could be forgiven for not realizing that he is still in the league and still playing on an actual NBA team, but he's still there, available to be picked up by fantasy teams. So yeah, he's a pretty good pickup. I actually picked him up recently, so he would be a good pickup if he's still available in about half the leagues right now. So, but yeah, things pretty quiet fantasy wise, I'll say, this week in terms of you guys and pickups.
Okay, all right, that is fantasy, and that's the man when it comes to fantasy. Alan is the guru. But of course, we can't leave unless we have the pick 5. And last week, Avenger only one was perfect. He got 5 out of 5.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he actually picked 5 out of 5. That was interesting. Anyway, well, they say every dog has its day.
Yeah, he's got enough days.
Um,
He's got enough days. He's got enough
and
days.
that
He's
was
got
his
enough days.
week.
Nah, he's got enough days. Bro.
That was his week. Anyway, so we look for this week. Pick 5. We started with on Tuesday, the 3rd of December. Memphis at Dallas.
Ooh. Luca's back now too.
Yeah, I think Lucas should be back.
Yeah, Luca played last night, I believe. Ah, boy. I give it Grizzlies.
Okay.
I give it
What about you,
Grizzlies.
Alan?
I go to Mavs.
Okay, so all of us going with the Dallas Mavericks.
No, I give Grizzlies.
No, he
I
said
give
Grizzlies.
Oh, you said
I
Grizzlies.
said
Sorry.
Grizzlies. Yeah, I give Grizzlies.
Sorry.
Let Holy Man want to sabotage my after how my
No, I don't want to sabotage your.
You
I
want
don't,
to
never know
sabotage
often
me,
do that.
man? God, eh?
On Wednesday, Orlando is at Philly. This should be interesting.
Orlando.
Oh yeah, Magic. Come on. Yeah.
I
France
think he's
Wagner.
missing that game as well.
Possibly. France Wagner show.
Okay. And then on Thursday, I go with Orlando too. And then on Thursday, Chicago at San Antonio. You know, Kelan's going to San Antonio.
Yeah, come on.
I will go to San Antonio too because I don't think that Chicago got anything.
Yeah.
Oh, you, Alan?
Come on.
There.
Yeah. Yeah.
On Friday, the LA Lakers versus
Spurs,
Atlanta. LA Lakers are at Atlanta.
Lakers have been a little shaky of late. I ain't gonna lie. Lakers been a little shaky of late.
I think they'll be a
Not
lot.
that agree on the road either.
Yeah, that was one of them. There's actually one of them games where Hawks and the Grizz either, but I ain't roll the dice.
They beat the mighty Cavs in back-to-back games.
They ain't seen the happy Cavs number. I ain't gonna lie.
So you hold Atlanta Kelan?
Yeah, I can swing on it. I can swing.
What about you, Alan?
Yep, going for Atlanta as well.
Yeah.
All right. You know you can pick Lakers.
Yeah, you don't have a choice.
And then on Saturday, the final game, Phoenix at Miami.
KD's back. So Phoenix.
So where you going, Phoenix?
Yeah.
What about you, Alan?
I think with the Heat here.
I think it's gonna be Heat too. I think Heat drew a good game from Butler.
Well, I don't know.
Or actually, the Heat drew a game from Butler. Not forget good.
Boy, Bama's also been playing a little.
Yeah. Anyway, that is court in session. For right now, the court is adjourned.